You're like these guys on Britain's Got Talent who were like, let's just say of special needs. But they got the golden buzzer from David.
On Britain's Got Talent.
The golden buzzer from David, and now we've got lots of confidence. And then they've all got like their personalities. Like, I'm the sassy one.
I feel like David Walliams probably just gave it a golden buzzer because that's the kind of character he would play in Little Britain.
Yeah.
Like, it was like it just gave him a sketch idea.
You said that they're like the happy one, the sad one, or whatever. Is one of them like the dumb one?
No.
No, but like one of them has got to be the dumbest.
No. None of them are dumb. They're intelligent human beings that
happen
to have disabilities.
Well, they're differently smart.
One of them has to be the smart one.
They've got street smarts.
They've got street smarts. Yes.
Yeah. I'll make a note to do it, and that way it'll be fine.
Okay. Well, just to let everyone know, in case Michael fails, Dylan was making fun of retarded people.
I'd never do that.
He was
playing a character.
He would never do that. Yeah. Well, unfortunately, you're not covered by the disclaimer, as we pointed out, Dylan. And in fact, last week, if you remember you made a racist comment.
I'd never do that. At least I would never do it. Maybe the character that I was playing would do that, but
I had to edit that out. To save you, so you owe me one. You know that, right? Yeah. I've stopped you getting cancelled because then you lose your janitor job.
Yeah, I know. I need that janitor job. Comes with that nice, sweet janitor pension and everything.
You get to live in your shack with the Wi-Fi you steal to record these.
He's in his shack right now, actually.
Yeah.
I wondered why yours had like a gardening tools behind you, Dylan.
Yeah.
Now it makes sense.
Yeah, and why we always hear the sound of like kids hammering on on some kind of like just padlocked tool shed behind you.
Yeah, because you can often hear doors swinging open in the background of your audio, and that is the kids going into the supply closet to get some, footballs or whatever at the youth centre.
Or all their confiscated drugs.
Oh
yes.
Oh, is it a?
That's another one of the perks of the job. And eventually,
Jesus Christ, this is unsustainable. He just muted himself again. Like, and like the thing is, if you're gonna do it like every minute and sneeze and like cough,
I know.
and then
I've got to
mute
limit it. I've got to choose my moment when to do it. I know. I can't just do it all the time. But
yeah. Scott was right, Dylan. You are always sick.
Yes.
No. Like the last time I was sick was when I had COVID, and that was back in November.
I haven't been sick for 3 years.
Last time I was sick was when I got the vaccine.
The sun hurts, Dylan.
It's tough working in a youth centre. You've got all these germs wandering around all the time.
That's a good point. Yeah,
that is true.
But of course, today, guys, we are doing Gay Parodies, our third edition of Gay Parodies. Thankfully, it seems that we have survived. Of course, the first gay parody video we did got us cancelled, taken down off YouTube. The second one we did, the video is still up, and we have not received, any, message from YouTube to say that it's actually it's something that needs to be taken down. So, yeah, we're doing good, guys. So I'm really confident going into this third one here, this third gay movie parody episode that we're doing. So yeah, let's get started then. So Michael, what have you got?
I've got a parody of Die Hard called Guys Hard.
Yeah, that was right there, wasn't it?
I'm really glad I heard you say that. It was one of the films I was thinking of parodying, but I left it.
Oh yeah, see, because I actually just going to say in my head, I messaged Luke in advance because I thought to myself, has somebody come up with that one before? And like I had to check because I was like, am I just having some kind of weird deja vu thing where I think someone's had it before? But no one had laid claim to it, which is great.
Good, right? So you go first. Then.
I thought I'd leave it because I didn't want to do a Christmas film until the Christmas film parody round at the end of the year.
Good one. If you did that for a Christmas film, you should have done Daddy's Home for a Christmas film.
I mean, he's already done Daddy's Home.
I know, yeah. So, you've got this gay cop who's going to go see his wife in LA. But the building is taken over by a notorious gay porn star turned international terrorist, Hans Pooper. And he's really famous for his fondness for anal fisting.
Nice.
Hence his name, Hans Pooper.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Clever.
Bruce Willis, being a closeted gay guy.
Oh, so he's just closeted.
Yeah, well, yeah, because that's why he's. Sorry, yeah. So he's a gay guy going to see his wife. So he's a closeted gay guy.
So why did they divorce?
No, I never said they were divorced. And actually, I suppose in this film, in my version,
they're separated.
Well, I forgot they were separated in the original film, and in my version, them being separated is kind of irrelevant, and it would maybe work better if they weren't separated. So
no, you're gonna have a reason, like his wife caught Bruce Willis. You know,
she found all the gay porn on his computer.
No, see, that doesn't work though, because here's the thing. I mean, so I'm gonna just tell you the next thing that happens, just so I can explain why it creates an issue. If they were separated, I suppose it would have to be. It can't be explicit, and you'll see that in a second, because. So therefore, I think maybe the closest it could be is like he just wasn't that sexually attentive to her, and that's caused a rift in their relationship. Because the thing is, his wife does not know he's gay, and this is the key thing. So these international terrorists decide to take over, and they take his wife hostage and keep her captive. And Bruce Willis thinks to himself, this is an opportunity for him to bang as many guys as he can. While his wife is being kept to one side. So he works his way down through the kind of the building, dealing with all the international terrorists.
And all the international terrorists are also gay porn stars.
I think that would make sense. I think that would be good, because, like, obviously it would be that, like, the kind of the gay porn market has become kind of saturated with porn stars, so they're not getting as much money as they can. So a bunch of gay porn stars.
And that's their motive.
Yes, exactly.
So just like in the movie, they're not actually terrorists, they're just after money. And this is the same thing here. They say they're terrorists, but maybe they're fighting for gay rights, but they actually just want money. Is that it?
Yes, yeah, exactly. Well, a bit like how, obviously, like the corporate media every in June or wherever it was. When's Gay Pride Month? I don't know.
June.
Anyway, okay, it's June. Yeah, good. Soon. Now is when it is. In fact.
Yeah, literally when this video is uploaded.
How appropriate. Okay.
I know.
June is soon.
So yeah, basically, he wants to bang as many guys as possible. Now, meanwhile, Hans, his motivation is that he wants to fuck Willis in front of his wife, though, because, and his thing, he's got an extra motivation, okay, which is that Hans is from New York, where he hooked up Vito from The Sopranos style with Bruce Willis at a gay club. But at the time, Bruce Willis was still very much like with his wife entirely, and like abandoned him. And he's like, the thing is, Bruce Willis, he's kind of like, he's like a gay guy in denial. So he's not just closeted, he's also in denial. And he's like, oh, I'm not really gay. So Hans,
he's a cop, so he can't be gay. Yeah,
exactly. That's it. Yeah. So he's got this additional motivation of wanting to fuck Willis in front of Willis's wife, so that he can show that he's gay. And he threatens, to kind of be like, my name's Professor Snape. Mr. Willis, until you calm down, I will fist random hostages. So, yeah, basically, he's going to fist random hostages until Bruce Willis comes down and kind of gives himself up to be fisted in front of his wife.
So this seems very specific. So he already knows that Bruce Willis is in the building.
Yeah. So he kind of like he had a very much a kill two birds with one stone approach here.
Okay. Well, how lucky for him.
Yeah. As he likes to call it, fill two turds with one bone.
Now, that's
now at one point there is this one dude bro who's like totally not gay, and he's like, oh, don't worry about it, I can chat to Hans and he's not gonna fuck me because I'm such an alpha guy. But then he does actually get fisted, even though he thinks he's like all chill and all that.
He's like, let's negotiate, right?
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
He's like, he's not actually gay. I can negotiate him into being straight.
Yeah, and the only thing he ate was Hans' arsehole. Now, also, and here's where this is where you get kind of the twist, or like, not the twist, but like things really kind of get a bit crazy, which is that at one point Bruce Willis is, like, he's working his way, fucking all these gay porn stars, and he starts fucking this gay guy against a window, and he fucks him so hard that the window breaks, and the gay guy falls off of his dick.
Onto a police car.
A police car, yes, exactly. Yeah. And this alerts the police, and Hans realizes that things are going badly.
No, sorry, I'm just imagining like the gay guy like with his penis out, just falling onto the cop's windshield. Just his penis and balls smacking the windshield.
Yes, exactly. Hans realizes that when the police are involved, he realizes he can start making demands to the police. So he starts demanding a cure for the gay plague, AIDS. But Reagan comes out and gives a very heroic address where he says it's basically their fault for being gay and they shouldn't do anything to stop it.
Yeah.
Degenerates. Yes, exactly. Which is really good because obviously this film is set in the 80s. And eventually you have the standoff between Hans and Bruce. I guess what's he actually called? John.
Yeah, John McClane.
And basically, Hans catches him, and he's got a gun, just a gun, like that's it. He has a gun, and he's like, "Hey, Bruce, John, stick up your hands."
John McGain.
Yeah, well, yeah. The thing is, he's not like, it wouldn't really make sense for him to have a gay name. But anyway, he sticks up his hands, and then he starts laughing. And why is he laughing? Because there's something behind him. And what is that? It's a vibrating butt plug. Okay. And the reveal is that John McClane is able to achieve orgasm without touching his hands. So he's like got his hands in the air, and then he comes straight in Hans Gruber's eyes.
Oh wow!
Causing him, he just splooges straight in his eyes.
Can you give me an impression of Hans Gruber getting splooged in his eyes?
Oh,
9.
No. It is not good.
See, goggles, they do nothing.
Yeah. So he falls. Hans Gruber falls down, and then Bruce Willis meets his wife, and they're walking out the building, and the people are like, "Hey, did you beat up all of those men for being armed, violent terrorists?" And then he's like, "Nah, I beat them up for being gay, faggots." And then.
And then he kisses his wife.
Yeah. And then his wife realizes that he can't be gay because of the fact that he's beaten up gay people. And then the police join, sign him up for the force, and they're like, "Hey, we want you to be part of our special keeping the gays in line division."
Yeah, we need you
that
down
suits
here.
Me. Yeah, and that's the end. A happy ending.
So I get that there's a good character arc with John McClane, who of course is not John McGain. He becomes John McStraight, I guess, at the end of the
movie.
John McStraight's clever. That's clever.
Yes. But the thing is, we need that so his character arc is well established. We need a character arc for the cop, who, of course, he's scared of shooting somebody, which is a hilarious arc for a cop. He shoots that terrorist at the end. So maybe he's like, I don't know, he shot a gay person before, and he regretted it.
Yeah. That would work. Yeah. I suppose that would work.
And then he's like, "Yeah, I'll shoot him," because maybe he got called homophobic online, or not online, not online.
In the newspaper.
In the newspaper, yeah, and he gets cancelled, called homophobic for shooting this gay person. He's like, "Should I have shot this gay person? I don't know." People saying, "I hate the gays." Then at the end, he shoots the gays. He's like, "No, that was the right thing to do, shooting gays."
Yeah, that works. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
And he'd still be black because they're very homophobic, the blacks.
Yes, indeed. Right, so that's Guys Hard. And it's funny that I just realised the character arc of John McStraight as he is. He goes from he's wondering, like, he's a closeted gay. He doesn't think he's gay, and he fucks a bunch of guys throughout the movie, and then his character arc is to at the end realise that he's in fact not gay.
Yes, he had to get it all out of his system. That's how it is. It's not that he's gay. It's just like, he'll get a bit curious sometimes.
We'll have an experimental phase.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's fine. It's not like he's actually gay. He just like.
That's great. Right, so let's go on to Dylan's now. What have you got, Dylan?
I've decided to parody the Terminator. Instead of the Terminator, though, we've called it the Sperminator.
So we're both doing 1980s action films.
Yeah. I'll be back as Arnold Schwarzenegger. What could I call him? I don't know.
Well, Dylan, you said a racial slur last week. Let's not do it again this week.
What did I say? Oh, yeah, Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, because his name.
Yeah.
I do.
Calm down.
Hang on, just a bit of water, just kind of lubricate the vocal cords.
Like, how many times have you drunk so far? Like, he's dying. He's an African child dying.
Right, okay. Let's cut the bit about cancer out. Right, okay.
Nope, that's staying in.
That's getting cut out, right.
You have no control over it, Dylan.
Well, I suppose, I could just keep saying you're cutting it out, but you can just cut the bit where I say you're going to cut it out instead of the...
Yeah.
I'd like to cut that out. Right, okay, anyway. Two beings arrive in 1984 San Francisco having time travelled from 2029. One is a cybernetic pervert known as the Sperminator, who is hunting a twink named Quera Cockner. Yeah.
What's her original name?
Sarah.
You know,
Sarah
it would have made
Connor,
more sense if she wasn't, or rather he wasn't a twink, and then it could be Bearer.
Yeah.
Ah, fuck. Oh well, it's done now. It's done now.
Look, Dylan,
brilliant.
this is just the first draft. You can change it.
That's brilliant. Yeah, I much prefer what you said, but no, we'll keep it that way. I think it makes sense actually for female characters in gay parodies to become twinks instead of bears.
Yeah.
What if they're lesbians though, like Sarah Connor was?
We don't do lesbians in this.
Plus, well, that's what I'm saying. No, Sarah Connor was a lesbian in the original Terminator.
Yeah, but we don't do. Well, no, but she fell in love. But anyway, but no, we
no. It's she definitely was. I mean, an action hero who was a woman. Come on, you're telling me she's not a lesbian? You're telling me that?
I thought this was gay parodies, not lesbian parodies. Anyway, the other is a human named Kyle Bicycle.
Okay, I like this.
Who's intent on stopping it. They both steal dildos and clothing. The Sperminator systematically rapes twinks bearing its target's name, whose addresses it finds in a telephone directory. It then manages to find the last Quera Cockner, its actual target, to a gay club.
Can I ask how many Quera Cockners are there in San Francisco?
More than you would think.
I don't imagine it's a popular name, but I guess, it's San Francisco, so...
Quite a few of them. It's a more common name than you'd have thought it was. Anyway, they find... He's tracked down to a gay club, but Bicycle rescues him. And the pair steal a bike and escape with the Sperminator pursuing them in a stolen police bike. So it's like a bike chain.
I see.
I like to think that Kyle at the time has also been like, this bike's not as good as my bike. It's not got as many gears and anything as this one does and everything. Anyway.
Yeah, just to clarify for people listening, we used to live with a guy called Kyle who was a Geordie who was really into bikes to a creepy degree, shall we say. And this is just making fun of him, this character. Yes.
Well, anyway, they hide in a car park, and Bicycle explains to Quera that an artificially intelligent defense network known as Guynet, created by Cyberdyke Systems, will become self-aware in the near future and trigger a global nuclear war in order to exterminate all gays.
Can I just say, Dylan, Cyberdyke. Oh, of course. Yeah, so they're exterminating gays. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, sorry.
That makes sense.
That's okay. Yeah. If you've got a question, please do ask it.
Okay, thank
you.
Anyway, we're here to learn.
Like you said last week when we did the Calcutta Girls parody. If you're laughing,
last week.
Yeah, last week. If you're laughing, you're learning. Yeah.
Anyway, they're gonna trigger a nuclear war to exterminate all the gays, but Quera's future adopted son, John, will rally the survivors and lead a successful resistance movement against Guynet and its army of machines. And on the verge of the resistance victory, Guynet sent the Sperminator back in time to kill Quera before John is adopted to forestall the resistance formation. The Sperminator is an efficient and relentless raping machine with perfect voice mimicking ability and a powerful metal endoskeleton covered by living tissue that disguises it as a bear.
Oh, I see. Okay, right. So it's a bear, right?
The Sperminator is the bear, which means that Quera had to be the twink. You see. One thing as well that I didn't realise was the whole I need your boots, your clothes, your boots, your motorcycle. That's from the second film, not the first film. Misconception.
Yeah. Obviously, yeah. I mean,
a little misconception by you. And
yes.
You alone.
Famous scene in the second one. It's actually not from the first one. Did you know that, guys? Yeah. Go on, Dylan.
Yeah. So, Bicycle and Quera are apprehended by police after another encounter with the Sperminator. The Sperminator attacks the police station, raping all present while hunting Quera. Bicycle and Quera steal another bike and take refuge in a motel, where they assemble dildo bombs and plan their next move. Bicycle admits that he has adored Quera since John gave him a photograph of him, and that he travelled through time not only to save him, but because he fell in love with him from the photograph. Reciprocating his feelings, Quera kisses him, and they have gay sex and make a decision to adopt a child.
That's what happens.
I like how that's...
Yeah, like after you have gay sex, that's what often follows.
That's how gay people reproduce.
Yes.
Because normally you get pregnant, but with gays that's not a possibility, so they make the decision instead to adopt.
But you can only adopt
the stork
after.
comes along.
Yes, after you have gay sex, yes.
That's one of the questions, like the adoption process, the screening is really rigorous. I'm sorry, you haven't had gay sex? You can't adopt.
Yeah, how long did it last?
Yeah.
Was there penetration from each of you? You know, all of that stuff.
Did you give him a reach around?
All valid questions. Anyway, the Sperminator manages to locate Quera by raping and impersonating his daddy. When Quera, unaware of its voice-mimicking ability, calls him and divulges his location. Realising this, he and Bicycle escape on a bike while it chases them on a motorbike. In the ensuing chase, Bicycle is wounded by gunfire while throwing exploding dildos at Sperminator. Quera knocks the Sperminator off his motorcycle but loses control of the bike, which flips over, and the Sperminator is now badly damaged, so he hijacks a quad bike and attempts to run down Quera on that, but Bicycle slides a dildo onto the quad bike's exhaust pipe, which makes it bust, and then he manages to jam his final dildo into his midsection, which blows it apart.
What does he say when he does? Does he have a one-liner?
Yeah,
he does. I didn't write it down though.
Or is it just "you are sperminated"?
You are sperminated. Blowing it apart at the cost of his life, as the explosion kills him and injures Quera, so he dies. Its still functional torso grabs Quera, but he breaks free and lures it into a hydraulic press, which then crushes it, just like the real film. Then anyway.
Wait, there's a real film?
What?
What?
This is the real film.
Yeah.
The other film's the parody. Anyway, months later, Quera finishes the necessary paperwork to adopt John and travels to
After
Mexico.
9 months. Exactly 9 months.
Yes.
You have gay sex and then 9 months. And it's actually the conservatives are trying to make it now so you can only stop the adoption process within the first month of deciding to adopt.
Yeah, wonderful.
I'll be
film.
back.
Yeah, I mean, maybe for Terminator 2.
Maybe. Sperminator 2, you mean?
Oh, sorry.
Goo.
Where did I get that? Where did I get that name from? So we've had 2 action movies then from the 80s, like you said. Yeah. So
and now we get something very similar, I assume.
Hopefully.
yeah.
I hope it's not another Lord of the Rings parody.
They're so
boring.
They're the whatever the opposite to a highlight is. They're that.
When can I ask Dylan? Why have you never watched the Lord of the Rings movies?
It's just a bit long for my liking. You know, it's just kind of the duration puts me off. To be honest with you.
That's why you don't mind having sex. Because it doesn't last very long.
Yeah, I get the joke.
Because you ejaculate very fast. You're what they call in the business a 2-pump chump.
He's not replying to it, so this must be true. Because
that must be the case.
Because if that wasn't true, then he'd be like, "No, that's not the case, Michael. No." So
exactly,
we can only conclude that is the truth.
Those are reasonable conclusions to make. Yeah.
So yeah. Anyway, we have Gay Lord of the Rings Part 3. Of course, we did Part 1, Fellowship of the Cockring. Part 2, the Goo Towers, and we're here for Part 3 right now. And this is the longest one I've done. Yeah, because it's the longest movie, so it makes sense. All right. So here we go. Gay Lord of the Rings. The Re-Sperm of the King.
Oh.
So the Hobbit Schmeagol. We start with the flashback. Is fishing with his cousin. Do you know what that is, by the way, Dylan? A flashback. Who discovers the cock ring in the river.
As long as there's context with a flashback, as long as it's like, hey, do you remember the time this happened? And then we cut to the flashback.
There's no
That's
context.
what I need.
I know, there's not actually, to be fair, there's not a lot of context with this because it's right at the start. So you may have struggled. But anyway, it's a flashback. I'm telling you that now. So Schmeagol discovers the cock ring in the river, and his mind is corrupted by the ring, and he kills his cousin by ripping his cousin's cock off and shoving it down his throat. Increasingly corrupted physically and mentally, and looking more and more gay, Schmeagol retreats into the Misty Mountains, or the Fisty Mountains, and becomes known as Gollum or Gulpcum. So, centuries later, during the War of the Cockring, Gandalf leads Aragorn, Legolas, Gimli, and King Theoden of Rohan to desolated Isengard, which is still Geyserhard, where they reunite with Treebeard, Merry, and Pippin. The wizard Saruman, or the Gizzard Shagaman, is still standing at the top of his Goo Tower at Geyserhard. He mocks Gandalf for coming here and asks whether he is after the rods of the 5 wizards, which he has shoved all up his arse. Gandalf says he's not interested in that, just information on what Shagaman knows about the Gay Lord Sauron, or Saurod, as he is known. Gandalf wants to know Saurod's strategy for the upcoming war. Shagaman laughs at Gandalf and brings out a pair of dark crystal balls attached together like testicles. These dark crystal balls can help the holder communicate with the Jap's Eye of Saurod. Shagaman then says to Gandalf, something festers at the heart of Middle-earth, something you have failed to see, but the Jap's Eye has seen it. The gay lifestyle is something that is so attractive and so decadent. All of Middle-earth will be consumed by it, and will eventually become Middle-girth. Shagaman then fires a bolt of white-hot cum from his penis towards Gandalf. But Shagaman has not realised Gandalf is now Gandalf the Straight, and the cum rebounds off him. Gandalf then says, Shagaman, your penis is broken, and Shagaman's penis blows up and disintegrates in his hand. Suddenly, Grima Wormtongue, or Wiener Spermtongue, appears behind Shagaman. Theoden urges Wiener Spermtongue to come down and be free of Shagaman, but Shagaman slaps Spermtongue with his balls and says he will never be free. Spermtongue is enraged and stabs Shagaman in his arsehole with a knife. Shagaman falls from its tower onto a spike, which thanks to Spermtongue's stab, fully penetrates Shagaman's arse, killing him. Treebeard says the gay filth of Shagaman is washing away, but Pippin then sees Shagaman drops his dark crystal balls and picks them up before Gandalf takes them off Pippin. The group returns to Edoras to celebrate the victory, as they stopped Helm's Deep from becoming Homo's Deep, if you remember in the last movie.
Yes.
Pippin sneaks a look at the dark crystal balls, seeing Saurod and also a burning cock. Gandalf deduces the enemy's plan is to attack Gondor, the Gondor capital Minas Tirith. He rides there to warn Gondor's deranged steward Denethor, or Menahor. Pippin, who accompanies him, swears fealty to Menahor, whose now dead heir Boromir, or Boromir, depending on how you want to remember him, had saved his life. Pippin and Gandalf see more HIV door from Minas Tirith, and see a rainbow emerging from more HIV door. Gandalf says this is not the weather of the world, this is of Saurod's making, a colourful inclusive pattern he sends ahead of his host to ease the passage of his orcs. Frodo carries the ring, and Sam continue their journey towards more HIV door, unaware that Gultcum, now their guide, plans to betray them and take the cock ring for himself. Sam overhears Gultcum plotting to take back the cock ring, and is worried the gayness of Gultcum is resurfacing. He taps Gultcum. When Frodo intervenes, says, I heard him. He means to rape us, he does. Gultcum replies, Gultcum won't hurt a fly. He makes up nasty lies. Sam shouts, you miserable little faggot. I'll bash your head in.
Does he say maggot in the
Yes.
original? That works very well.
However, Frodo says he won't abandon Gultcum. The trio witness the Witch King of Angmar, or the Dick King of Gabar, Lord of the Nine Nazgul, or Asful, set off towards Gondor from Minas Morgul, or Mias Horgulp, with his army of orcs. Gultcum conspires to frame Sam for masturbating over gay pornography. He plants used tissues in Sam's pocket, next to an old painting of a male hobbit fucking another male hobbit. Frodo is taken in by the deception. Sam then says he could carry the cock ring and share the load, but Frodo wrongly hears.
Share the load. But that's just like directly from the film. It's so funny.
But Frodo wrongly hears share your load, and instead, after hearing that, he orders Sam to go home. Gondor calls for aid against AIDS. King Theoden gathers his Rohan army to help Gondor after the lighting of the beacons. Meanwhile, Faramir, who was earlier overwhelmed and driven back to Minas Tirith from Osgiliath, or of course now it is Oswilias, by the orcs, and the Dick King of Gabar, is then gravely wounded in a suicide charge. Believing his son to be dead, Menahor falls into madness and attempts to perform electroshock conversion therapy on himself and Faramir. But Pippin alerts Gandalf and they rescue Faramir. Menahor, who is electrified and in agony, jumps to his death. The orcs then start the war against Gondor. but the orcs struggle to penetrate the gates in front of them, so instead they bring out the wolf's cock, a massive battering ram shaped like a wolf's cock, and they successfully break into Minas Tirith. Outside more HIV door, Gulpcum then tricks Frodo into venturing into the lair of the giant spider Shelob, or She-Nob. Frodo gets trapped numerous times in the queer spider's lair, running into its sticky webs, but escapes and fights Gulpcum for the cock ring, defeating him. But then She-Nob discovers Frodo and sticks her phallic object into him, paralysing him. But She-Nob is wounded and driven away by a returning Sam, who shows it the Republican Florida Don't Say Gay bill. Frightening Shelob. Frodo is captured by the orcs, but Sam rescues him after the orcs fight amongst themselves after getting distracted by Frodo's cute shiny metal outfit he was wearing. Now, Frodo and Sam are inside more HIV door, and they continue towards Mount Dick, preparing to cast the cock ring into the fires. Theoden arrives at Minas Tirith with the Rohan soldiers and leads his army against the orcs. They are decimated, though, by the Oliphants, or the Polyphants, and the Dick King of Gabar, who mortally wounds Theoden. However, Theoden's niece, Éowyn, fights the Dick King of Gabar. The Dick King mocks Éowyn, assuming that she must be a gay man because of her high voice, saying, "You fool, no fag can kill me." Éowyn takes off her helmet to reveal that she is a woman and triumphantly says, "I am no fag," and kills the Dick King. Theoden dies in his niece's arms. Aragorn then arrives with the army of the dead and overcomes Sauron's forces and win the battle, chasing the ethnically and sexually diverse enemies away from Minas Tirith. Aragorn decides to march on more HIV door to distract Sauron from Frodo. All of Sauron's remaining forces march to meet Aragorn's diversion. Sauron's Jap's Eye is also drawn to Aragorn's army. Aragorn says the day may come where the courage of straight men fails, but it is not that day, and where the age of straight men comes crashing down, but it is not that day. They charge into battle, as Sam and Frodo are almost at Mount Dick. Sam reminds Frodo of the wonders of the Shire and the family values they are fighting to protect. Yes, very important that. Sam carries Frodo to the mountain's entrance. Sam urges Frodo to cast the ring into the fires of Mount Dick, which are actually, not fire, but semen. The semen is just so infected with AIDS that it appears to be fire, you see. However, standing on the edge of the cliff, Frodo succumbs to the cockring's power. He pulls down his trousers and puts the cockring on his dick, becoming what we feared all along. He becomes Chodo Slaggins. However, Gulpcum enters the mountain and manages to get his mouth around Chodo's cock, and bites off Chodo's dick and reclaim it. Gulpcum celebrates. Chodo looks down at his bloody stump and attacks Gulpcum. They struggle together and both fall off the ledge. Chodo manages to cling on and is pulled up by Sam, but Gulpcum falls and dies, almost managing to put the ring on his tiny erect cock just before he's consumed by the boiling diseased semen. The ring, which fell with them, disintegrates in the cum. Mount Dick erupts with a massive ejaculation of deadly sperm. As Sauron meets his demise, Aragorn's army emerges victorious as its enemies flee. The evil homosexual semen has been vanquished, and the only sperm left in Middle-earth will be from the victors like Aragorn, hence the title of the movie, the Re-Sperm of the King. Chodo becomes Frodo again, and thanks Sam, in a non-gay way, however. Gandalf rescues the hobbits with the help of his American bald eagles, and the surviving fellowship is happily reunited in Minas Tirith. Aragorn is crowned King of Gondor and marries Arwen, a girl. The hobbits return home to the Shire, where Sam marries Rosie Cotton, a girl. A few years later, Frodo departs Middle-earth for the Undying Lands, the villages in central Florida, with his uncle Bilbo, Gandalf and the elves. Sam returns to the Shire, where he embraces Rosie and their children, and thinks about getting Middle-earth out of the bureaucratic, anti-democratic European Union. And that is the end. And
that's beautiful.
Yes.
As a true fan of the franchise, I really appreciate the parody as well.
And everyone is happy and not gay ever after.
But that's irony, that, because what does gay actually mean?
Happy.
Yeah, exactly.
Again, I tried to, like I said before in my previous 2 parodies, I tried to stick as closely to what Tolkien intended as possible. J, yeah, I mistakenly called him J. Arse Tolkien when I first did the parody.
I believe it's J.K. Tolkien.
Okay, but anyway, so there we go. Those are all gay parody songs done, and I complete the trilogy. And you know what? Was it worth it to do a gay parody of Lord of the Rings to have to sit through, like 12 hours of Lord of the Rings stuff?
17 if you go the unedited version.
One time I was on Amazon and I wanted to buy a
dildo,
a popcorn maker.
Let them tell the story.
A male prostitute,
like a appliance that would pop popcorn. And then I saw, when I was going to check out, they had an option called Amazon X. It will deliver it within an hour.
Ooh.
And so I decided to order it, but then it's getting close to an hour, and I'm really thinking that this Amazon X thing was just complete nonsense. But then, knock knock, open up the door, it's real with a non-stop pop of stainless steel. X go and give it to you.
Fantastic.
That's from 4chan. I sent it to Jack one time. He found it really funny.
I'm not surprised.
I'm a bit disappointed, actually, because I put on Facebook thing about it saying happy birthday to Jack, and he's just ignored it. No,
is it Jack's when was it Jack's birthday?
It's today.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so
it would be funny if it wasn't his birthday.
I put a post on, and the only person that's liked it is my mum.
Wait, how many people have wished him a happy birthday?
I'm gonna
wait,
go on.
A lot of these are from 1 year ago.
Wait, what the fuck is this?
Okay, I got you. Yeah, so it's 8 friends.
This is the saddest thing I've ever seen. This is the saddest thing I've ever seen. Here we go. Happy 26th, Jack. Hope you have a good one. And it's like 4 photos.
It's 5 or 6.
You've got a video.
It's 6 photos.
You've got a video of yourself.
It's a video of me in the car just saying happy birthday to Jack.
There's a video of Jack and you as you are Noel Edmonds. Jack is a contestant on Deal or No Deal, and Jack has won 250,000. There is
top prize back in the day.
The picture of Jack is so good.
Jack is Boris Johnson and you as Rishi Sunak.
Oh my god!
And
Dylan,
off to
digital
another
blackface.
Off to another party. Yeah, Dylan, you've done blackface on yourself there, Dylan.
No, it's brown face.
And sorry, I apologise. Then Leeds players. I guess Jack is Patrick Bamford here, and you're.
He actually can pass as Patrick Bamford. I thought. Because I'm thinking, have I done a good photo job on that?
And you're Rafinha.
Yeah.
And somehow Rafinha's hairline appears to be even further back.
And that's an older picture of me as well.
Than your own. Wow. And then you have done Anton Deck. Jack is Deck. Oh my god. Oh my god, Jack is Deck. But he looked like. Am I the only one who thinks Jack as Deck looks like he's got Down syndrome? Am I the only one? It's a pity people can't see this. It really is.
And then it's you as Prince William.
To be fair, this is what worries me about losing all my hair, because I'm thinking that's what I'm eventually going to look like.
Nah, you won't be that good looking, Dylan. Don't worry. No, so yeah, Jack is of course Harry, which makes sense because he's ginger. This was the most obvious one.
I'm gonna do a caring so how do I do it? The hug.
This is like you have how many images, Dylan? You've got 5 images, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and a video, and you've all sent this to Jack. Here we go, Jack. Hope you have a good one. And he has not acknowledged it at all, and this was posted 10 hours ago.
I mean, in fairness, though, he's not acknowledged anybody, which I think is quite rude. I like and leave a comment whenever someone wishes me a happy birthday.
Do you think his girlfriend looks a bit like Scott?
Oh, yeah.
That's interesting, that.
Sorry.
Yeah, does Scott's girlfriend look like Jack? That's the real question, isn't it?
That is the real question.
I always like when we just randomly start talking about people we know personally, just to see how Luke handles it when it comes time to edit.
Is he? Are they like still together? Like, did they actually slept together yet, or are they still like in that friend zone?
I mean, there was a joke about Jack being a virgin, but I'm pretty sure. I mean, was there ever a joke about him being in the friend zone with his girlfriend? I don't really remember that.
No,
I
there
think
wasn't really.
we had to get him to prove he'd had sex because we'd made up his chant, which was me and Alex did it all the time. It was "I'm virgin till I die, I'm virgin till I die," and he got really upset about that.
So you chanted that in CUDA, didn't you? I remember that.
Yes.
And I was not there that night, and I remember waking up in the morning and there just being a lot of tension in the house for some reason. Yeah,
that was funny. Hey Dylan, what's your topic?
So actually, what I've managed to come across. Now I thought about this, and then I was looking for it at the start of the podcast, and then before we were about to start, I'd given up, and then I found it by some miracle before we said let's start. Anyway, maybe we'll cut that explanation bit out, and until.
To be fair, I assume everything will stay in.
I used to until we started talking about what we're going to remove from the discussion from the podcast.
Oh, I never do that.
Yeah, but you started doing that, Dylan.
Yeah, because I
people
realized
kept pointing out that you were a southerner.
Yeah,
I mean,
really,
we'll cut that out. But
exactly.
I just.
All I have to do is mention what a massive southerner you are, and you instantly start talking about about cutting stuff out.
I'm just gonna northern up my accent a bit just to compensate. Anyway.
I thought you did that all the time.
I do.
Yeah. Dylan, you're so southern. If you northerned up your accent, you'd be French. You'd speak French.
North France, yeah, funny. Anyway, we'll get rid of all of that, and we'll start from you asking.
The thing is, I like including when you say that because it just demonstrates to people.
It also lets people know how impotent you are.
Yeah, exactly.
We're gonna cut that.
How you don't have any power here.
How much creative control I do because of how much cussing that we do.
Yeah, but we don't cut any of the bits you say we'll cut.
Yeah.
Do re mi fa sol. So anyway, back in. Okay. The thing is, I wanted it to be a surprise what I was reading as well, but now I'm kind of the more it's taken, the more I'm reading it and realizing how funny it is. No, anyway, if you remember way back when, I think this is early on when I kind of joined the circle, we decided to write a screenplay about the house, and each of us were going to play different characters.
Oh, is this the one that has? See, the thing is, a lot of the names are very closely based on people's actual names.
Yeah,
that's the Kylie was one. Yes, we have Luke, who's the antagonist.
So wait. This was you wrote this, right?
I wrote this. Yeah, you were the bad guy.
Helps.
Yeah.
That explains. We all wrote it.
That explains a lot. That you put me as the antagonist. That explains a lot.
But played by me.
Yeah, exactly. Because Michael can only play bad guys.
I think I would play a good villain.
His character traits were that So I like a little description about all the characters. So Luke's was that he's a Man City fan and enjoys a reign of tyranny as house president. He's flattered at first, but he enjoys his role before he realises his power, which he uses to inflict pain and misery onto the house. And then we're going to foreshadow how evil he is.
I understand now. I understand why you wrote me as the antagonist, because you were one of the messiest people in the house.
I was not one of the messiest people in the house at all. I will admit that I kind of, during that time, I kind of learnt to be a bit tidier and learnt more to put things away. But, we lived with Kyle. I was definitely never even in the conversation for who's the messiest in the house.
No, that's why I said one of. Kyle was, but I think you were number 2. So
I think, it makes... I learned to tidy up a bit more.
But you weren't happy. You weren't happy about me telling you off, were you?
Well, we'll agree to disagree. The next character is called Glenn.
That's very mature of you, Dylan. Well done.
He's called Glenn, and he was played by Ben. He was the only one that's actually played by himself. He's the audience surrogate character, and he idolises Luke, and he wishes to be on the rugby team like Luke. He's not very good.
That's funny.
But as it progresses, he eventually realises that Luke isn't the person he thought he was.
No, exactly.
Then I play a character called Zach. He's an important character that helps Glenn overcome Luke's reign of tyranny. A bit autistic, often goes and locks himself in his room.
Oh,
so true. He does lock himself in his room, does that old Zach?
Yeah.
He has a brief fling with Kylie as well, but it doesn't work out, and we'll get to that later.
Fucking hell.
The next character was Dylan, and he was portrayed by probably the most northern person in the house to try and kind of portray that northern essence. So I got Alex to play me.
That's very
because you wouldn't be able to play yourself. That's very
interesting.
Although when we did rehearsals, he did kind of southernize his voice, and I was just, as the director as well, I was like, this is not how the character's supposed to sound. He put a tea towel around his neck to pretend it was a scarf, and
you got the most.
I'm Dylan, and I was like, that's not how the character's portrayed. So we did have to try and work on that.
So you got the person
that kind of led to its ultimate failure.
You got the person who was the most northern and who bullied you the most to play yourself. That's very interesting. Very. Somebody would love to psychoanalyze this Dylan.
And this is Dylan's character description. It is very northern, although everyone says he's from the south, even though he's never been there.
Yeah, he just lives there. There's a difference between...
He's never been to the south.
There's a difference between being from there and living there. Yeah.
He's never gone south of the Watford Gap.
He often looks at the brightest light source in the room. He had a brief fling with Kylie, but it didn't work out.
I remember I pitched
that line, yeah.
I pitched he often looks... Because I was like, he's got to have a character trait. And I was like, he looks at the brightest light source in the room. It's just what he does.
Then we've got Alexei. I can't say his surname. We've got Alexei, who's portrayed by Luke.
I know his surname.
Yeah, his surname's really funny.
It's about having a tiny penis.
That was it.
Can I say that?
I think so.
Yes.
Alexei keeps pretending to be Russian, which really annoys Kylie. He's a crazy character.
What?
He is a crazy character who is always doing totally random things that make everyone wonder why they are living with him.
That's true.
Then Jack plays Kylie. She is a Russian Geordie, a love interest for Glenn. Luke secretly fancies her and is horrible to her in an attempt to repress his feelings.
Oh wow!
She used to fancy George, who was
Who's George?
George was someone that was going to live in the house.
Oh yes,
going to replace George, yes. And George used to play rugby as well, and that's how he. And was always apparently trying to get his attention. She is on the netball team as well. I've just read the next.
How many people are left?
We've got two more. So we've then got Michael, who's portrayed by Kyle, a character who often rants about a few things. That's all I've got. And then the best one.
I feel like I would be the person who kind of is like the kind of the director's kind of think piece, or like the person who like kind of expresses the director's point of view. So when the director wants to make, or the screenwriter rather wants to make some kind of point, Michael would be the person who like says it in like a scene where he gets really angry.
That's a good. I mean, yeah, I think that's a good take. Yeah. So that was 7. We've still got one more. So the final character is called Unnamed Housemate Number 1.
I know who this is.
I
just want to see who this is.
It's a non-speaking role.
For a guy with a crooked nose.
So housemate is often seen in the background during major conflicts and story points. George and Luke were both in the university first team for rugby, and in training, Luke unintentionally injures George. George from a sports scholarship.
He's such a villain.
And his injury causes him to have to unenroll from the university. Glenn has no idea why the other housemate disappeared. Some housemates don't know, others do not wish to speak of it. Although Glenn doesn't know people very well, his deciding vote for new president is between Michael and Luke. Glenn, although he doesn't know anyone very well, decides to vote for Luke, as he seems like a nice guy. Whilst all this is happening, Dylan is away on a sabbatical in Scotland, and upon his return discovers Luke as house president to his shock and disdain.
What were you doing up in Scotland, Dylan?
Dylan, I do want to ask...
With certain girls, what were you doing with them?
Well, hold on a minute, Dylan. Here's the thing. Didn't you actually vote for Luke?
I did. It says that... in this one, Dylan doesn't vote. So we got 7 votes.
But in real life, Dylan voted for Luke.
Michael, unnamed housemate number 1, Glenn and Alexei vote for Luke. And Luke, Kylie and Zach vote for Michael. You're not allowed to vote for yourself.
I remember, by the way, in terms of... I don't know if people remember this, but you remember how I became house president first time?
Yes, yeah. I do. You gamed the system.
I voted you back in because this tyrant took over from you, and his reign didn't last very long because of how tyrannical he
No, but
was.
do you remember how I first became House President, by the way?
I wanted Luke back as president.
Do you remember how I first became House President, by the way?
I thought you see. I remember you gaming the ranked preferences.
No. The first time I became House President is because we decided we need someone to sort the tick chart out. And literally, I remember it was Alex came down and told me, "Oh yeah, Luke, we decided that you should be president because you're the only one responsible enough to do this." And
I see. So Alex was your lackey.
No, he made it seem like lackey. A bunch of you decided.
Anyway, are we ready to rate Dylan 10 out of 10?
Yep.
Okay.
I'd like to give myself a 9 because I actually did like this the screenplay, and I think in terms of the topics, I think it is one of my better topics.
Well, I do think that like some of it was quite funny, but I can't really remember what. I think Scott being a background character is funny. I will say though, I'm just gonna give you an 8 because while I think some of it was funny, I feel like
it's missing that.
Just an 8. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I am going to give you let's see. So the lowest I've ever given you was a 4, Dylan.
Yeah. And he's going to give you loads more.
So
I think this is a good topic.
So I don't think it's your worst. So I'm going to give you a 5. So that's I think reasonable.
Well done, Dylan. It's not your worst.
It's not your worst. So that gives you a score of 22. Congratulations.
So that's what I got last week.
Yeah, you're consistent. So Michael, well, I'll do my topic next, which was. Yeah. Again, I think good news is it's going to be quick. I would like you to all click on that.
Yes. Oh, good. Oh, why didn't I should have loaded it up in.
This episode has gone on for ages.
read the title, Dylan.
Evangelion Ray gives Gollum blowjob, boob job, hand job, and fucked by his tiny cock in public toilets.
I would not say that's tiny, really, especially when you consider the fact that Gollum's quite small. So actually, like relative to his size,
okay,
like that's.
So we're going to play the video here. So do you want to just describe what's happening, please, Dylan?
Will I be able to last that long watching it?
Go on. What second are you on, Dylan? What's happening?
Oh, I didn't know.
I'm on 4 seconds. So I'm sorry, I couldn't stand it and came in. Of course, it's not small water. Not small water. What the hell's that? Oh, and then they start. Oh wait, they're not banging yet. She's like just kind of like got her hands on his shoulders, and then she says it melted. By the way, I would like to point out this woman does not actually sound like a woman.
What's
this
the
woman
text,
sounds.
Michael?
Aha, it looks like a rampage horse.
Do you agree with her?
A rampage. She's not really taking very much of his allegedly tiny cock.
So of course we did Gay Lord of the Rings. So I had this video. I had the photo of the screenshot of the video on my phone for a while. I was like, this would be the perfect time to play it.
Yeah, although it should be pointed out this is not gay.
No, yeah, I guess.
Although, like I say, I do think that the woman's voice sounds a little bit like a man pretending to do a woman's voice.
That wouldn't be that surprising. And we get to a stage where Gollum's cock it looks like it's being electrocuted, really, to be honest with you.
Oh, yeah, because it's like the jizzing.
And then we have another line
like going everywhere.
At the bottom.
Oh, both the cock and the pussy became the most annoying. The most annoying.
Oh, so it's Gollum. From,
do you? Oh wait, there was another line there which I didn't really read.
Dylan, did you just say it's Gollum?
Is Gollum holding like a fish or something? Because
yes, he is. Yes, he is holding a fish.
Like, first of all, I would start by tasting the cock.
I like, Dylan, how you read in the title Gollum, and a couple of minutes later you're like, oh, is this Gollum? And I don't know who else that could be. Like, who else does that look like?
It's 2 minutes 45 seconds. You said it was only 2 minutes.
I said the 45 seconds.
I felt like I was dreaming because I was sandwiched between my chest. I have a loose face.
Looks happy. Looks content with himself.
I do like the broken English. I mean, does it even count as broken English when it's this like just wrong?
What's the next line, Michael, at the bottom?
Oh, I'll teach you the pleasure of distorting your face.
The sexiest possible line anyone can see.
Okay.
No, there's still what?
Neat and obscene service.
Okay. You are satisfied with my neat and obscene service. We love you anytime, anywhere, in the toilet. Well, okay, that's that.
I'm sorry, I thought you might find that a bit funnier, but clearly not.
I mean, I found the like the funny English kind of funny.
It It was a good try.
Can you imagine coming up with that? Evangelion Rey, this character from this anime Evangelion, fucking Gollum in a public toilet with his tiny cock. And like Michael said, it wasn't even that tiny.
There's a market for
that's
it.
the worst thing about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it just wasn't that sexy in the grand scheme of sexy things.
Yeah. No, it's a it is something that I think again shows the wonders of the internet that video can be found and someone made it and spent a lot of time producing that.
I'd like to ask you a question. Like, where do you like find these videos from?
Just
Is it from your searches for gay porn? Because you do search a lot for gay porn.
No, I honestly think I saw that on
podcast.
Like I say, I saw these for the podcast exactly. I saw the screenshot on so someone screenshotted the video title on Twitter one time,
right? And
I saved that. That's honestly how it happened, because it's a funny video title, and hopefully people would get a laugh out of it. Which at some point you did.
It was funny.
Yeah. It was one of those things where you can like kind of look at it like, oh, this is funny. It's like Friends, you can like watch it and think, oh, that's funny, but you don't like.
This is a lot. I would say the one thing I would describe this as is very much like Friends.
Yes, no doubt about it.
Like I'll never forget that episode of Friends.
Gollum in the public toilet. Got a boob job and a hand job with his tiny cock.
Yeah.
From Evangelion Rey. Yeah. To be fair, Gollum in the early 2000s, Evangelion, that was in the mid-90s, so Friends could have done an episode on that. But yeah.
Apparently they were going to do this episode once where Chandler was going to a gay club because he liked the sandwiches or something, but then like...
Such a Chandler story.
The actor that plays Chandler was like, I don't want to do this, and they decided not to do it.
Oh, Matthew Perry. Oh, don't tell me he's homophobic. Oh my god.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like his character was homophobic towards transphobic, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, they were all
Which
homophobic.
Is fine.
That's why all the Zoomers want to try and cancel Friends.
All the Zoomers, all two of them. Yes.
All two of them.
Bloody Zoomers.
But it's like because Ross was homophobic because like his wife was gay.
Oh yeah, it's a well-known comedy trope though back in the day. Oh, I remember there's an episode of Seinfeld with it as well. Like 90s sitcoms love that. This character...
Not that there's anything wrong with it.
Yeah, well, that was a different episode, actually. One where George gets a massage from a gay masseuse, and he keeps on like going up George's legs, and George keeps on looking around like nervously, and the audience laughs like, it's a gay guy giving George a massage. And George isn't comfortable with this. Oh, it's a really funny scenario.
It's funny when people aren't comfortable with their sexuality.
Yes. So thankfully we've moved on. We don't get those sitcom tropes anymore. But we do get Evangelion Rey giving Gollum a boob job. So anyway, time to rate the topic. Dylan, you go first.
I'm going to give you a higher score than you gave me. A 6 out of 10.
A 6 out of 10. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm probably feeling a 6-2.
6-2. Well, the only way I can tie Dylan is if I give myself a 10.
Which you won't do, because that's obviously gaming the system.
So I'm only going to give myself a 9. That gives me 21.
Okay. And now it's time for my topic. And my topic is a very involved, very kind of intricate topic, and a really important topic too. Okay, imagine if a magic genie came up to you. You can only eat 4 different types of meat, meaning basically 4 animals in the year. Fish doesn't count, so like you can eat as much fish as you like, but like birds and beasts. And this is the other thing. Okay, you can only eat 1 type of animal during each season. My question for you is: which animals do you eat? And which animals do you pair with which seasons?
I don't know. Dylan?
Hang on, I'm just writing down my ideas.
Okay, so for me, first of all, and I'll kind of give you some logic, I was thinking in autumn, I think we should have pork. And the reason why is because I think apples are very kind of a classic autumnal fruit. Like it's autumn, you get some apples. And of course, what do apples go really well with? Pork. So there we go. Good plan. Now in the spring, I think lamb, because obviously that's kind of like an association there with like kind of Easter and like the little lambs. And yeah, like people associate lamb with spring. So really, I think the two obvious meats left would be chicken and beef. And you could have your chicken in the winter. Perhaps even instead of having chicken, you have turkey in the winter. But obviously that's just for Christmas. And then you can have maybe beef in the summer. Now, I think chicken in the summer, because I think the majority of meals you can make with chicken are kind of better hot weather dishes, like, fajitas, fried chicken, I don't know, stuff like that. And then conversely, in the winter, you can make like beef stew, like kind of hearty, warming meals, even though it would, of course, mean having beef for Christmas.
Yeah, I was going to say, that really is the one that sticks out like a sore thumb, really, because that is turkey or chicken, or goose even, at Christmas. Beef.
So, what are you thinking? Do you disagree with me on autumn or spring, or are you?
I mean, I've come up with lamb for spring as well, beef for summer. Now, originally I've got chicken autumn and turkey winter. Now, what I'm thinking of doing is just sticking with chicken, having chicken with extending the autumn period over to Christmas Day, and then going for maybe pork over the winter.
You can't do that, Dylan. We've been over this.
You can't extend it.
Because I originally got lamb spring, beef summer, chicken autumn, turkey winter. But I don't really want 6 months of eating bird, so I might change one of them to pork. But I thought beef summer.
I'll eat your bird for 6 months.
Oh yeah, by the way, I'm a bit concerned that a certain Jeremy Corbyn might hear your absence of a particular meat and assume you're part of the demographic that he hates.
Oh, because I've not got any pork. Yeah, because I'm thinking, when you said pork for autumn, I wanted to be a bit of a sheep and copy you, but then I thought that'd be very bad of me to do so. So I decided not to.
Anyway, Luke, what about you?
Yeah, it would be funnier if, you were referencing spring there and you talked about being a sheep. But what would I say? Chicken for autumn sounds good, but then again, I don't really like turkey, so I think it's just a meat which is quite dry.
And it's very dry, but it's like during the Christmas, the month of Christmas, December. I quite like having turkey sandwiches with cranberry jam.
Wow, how southern of you!
Well, not really, because
I knew that.
And bread sauce. And Yorkshire puddings.
And Yorkshire puddings, yeah. You don't get Yorkshire puddings down south. That's a foreign concept.
I used to think that the name would change depending what county you went to. So when I went to a different county outside of Yorkshire,
stupid.
I was surprised that they were still called Yorkshire puddings.
That's incredible. I think maybe pork for winter, because I think you can have that on Christmas Day and it'd be acceptable. I just beef. Dylan's disagreeing. I just don't think you can have beef on Christmas Day. I just don't think it goes.
Your hero, Gordon Ramsay, makes a beef Wellington for Christmas with, and the trick is he puts
but he's a racist.
In the mushroom duxelle. He is pretty racist.
He is pretty racist, yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's an interesting question, Michael. But
thank you.
I'm not sure if we can come to a consensus.
Well, the problem is, do we go for turkey or chicken for Christmas?
Yeah.
Or rather for winter? Because if it's turkey throughout the whole of the winter, don't really know how I feel about that. Conversely, if it's Christmas for the whole of winter, you're not necessarily getting the full advantage of actually having a traditional Christmas meal. You know what? I will say, in the interest of consensus, I will say yes. Okay, chicken in the winter and beef in the summer, because you know what? You can have beef fajitas.
I think
that's a good point.
I think you're correct now, because I think I'm just found myself agreeing. I think you're right. Chicken should be winter.
Yeah.
And the Spanish
pork autumn.
Don't like the Spanish like beef a lot, and of course it's very hot in Spain, so that makes sense.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah.
And we've got to respect other cultures as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Otherwise, we get accused of being racist, but we can't respect them by actually, involving ourselves in their culture. Else that's cultural appropriation, at least according to the loony left.
Okay, so let's rate Michael's topic. Michael, you go first.
I would like to rate myself a 6.
Not a 7?
No, I am taking a 6 because I feel like that's quite neutral. I don't want to lean people either way as to whether or not I think they should win. Either way, I'm happy.
Dylan?
I think it's worth a 7, personally. Okay. So that would be up to 13, meaning that Luke, if you give an 8, he ties. If you give a 9, Michael wins.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what? I'm looking at my scores that I've given for Michael, and I've never given him a 10, and I think today that changes. So that is a 10 for Michael. That is 23 for Michael, and Michael wins this week. Congratulations, Michael. That's 3 in a row. Congratulations, Michael. Anyway, can we have some final thoughts, please? Michael, you go first.
Yes. How do you turn a pussy into an asshole? Give him a badge.
That's good. That's a very topical joke. And Dylan, final thoughts, please.
I've just deleted all the gym and names off my pre-ordered iPhone. It's hands-free now.
That's good. And my final thought is, of course, what a beautiful day it was on Saturday when Liverpool didn't win the Europa League. Sorry, Champions League.
Champions League.
Champions League. We're in the Europa League, of course we are. Fucking hell.